Commodity prices across the board are far from their 52-week highs. In fact, copper down 30%, silver down 28%, and gold down almost 14%. Let's talk about this and the future of mining. Joining us on a first on CNBC interview to talk about it is Barrick Gold President CEO Mark Bristow. They reported their quarterly numbers this morning with slightly better than expected top and bottom line results. Mark, thanks for joining us. I know everybody wants to talk about gold, but I want to talk about copper first because we've got this big Senate spending package, which looks like it's going to pass the House. A lot of money for clean energy. The one thing about clean energy is you need a lot of copper. You need to build out charging stations, new utility grids. If this gets done, how bullish could this be for long-term copper demand, and do we have the copper?
Yeah, good morning. Well, you've got it right. You've hit the nail on the head. We don't have enough copper. And again, you've seen the copper price come off because it's always short term. And what we as miners have to do is look long term. And we just don't have the copper to ensure that we can support the vision of being a greener planet into the future.
Yeah, and where's it going to come from, Mark? I mean, do you have the resources? Do you have the known reserves of enough copper? Or are you going to have to go out and find more? In other words, I hate to say it, but clean energy takes a lot of mining.
Exactly. I mean, that's the irony of the whole thing. It needs to be responsible mining, of course, but we've got to go and look for it. And again, if you look at the inventory, as far as the portfolio of the big miners, we don't have very few specialist copper miners. And as you know, Barrick has, back in 2019 with the merger of Randgold, committed to grow its copper portfolio. And we've just announced a big project in Pakistan, which is the development of Reko Diq, one of the largest undeveloped copper and gold deposits in the world. But it takes time to bring big copper mines into production, and we don't have those. And on top of that, we have the challenges in South America, particularly in Chile, with the change in the outlook towards mining and the heavy fiscal legislation that's coming the mining way in Chile.
Yeah, and how much of currency moves? I mean, the euro is I don't want to say collapsed, but it was at parity briefly with the U.S. dollar. The dollar strengthened, Mark. How much do these currency moves, outsized moves in some cases, impact you and the price of gold?
Well, you know, this world is a little disparate when it comes to, getting aligned globally, economically. And what we're seeing today is a devaluation of all the paper currencies, including the US dollar. The dollar is relatively strong, but when you look at gold and its performance, and as you can see, it's gone up again this morning, you would expect that gold would be softer on the back of the increased interest rates, but we haven't got to real interest rates yet. And so gold is the ultimate measure of currency strength, because it's one currency that politicians can't print.